좋아해.
Hi, welcome back to the drama Love Next Door episode 7. After Seok-Ryu threw the shoe and asked what Seung-Hyo meant. Actually, at that time Seung-Hyo wanted to explain, but suddenly Seok-Ryu's ex-fiancé came. They were shocked to see Hae-In there. Likewise, with Seung-Hyo, who didn't like to see him. When Hae-In wanted to introduce himself, he didn't want to because they weren't friends. And when Seung-Hyo pulled Seok-Ryu's hand, Hae-In pulled her along. Suddenly Seok-Ryu's father and mother came angrily because they saw Hae-In. How impudent Hae-In came there. Then her mother asked Hae-In to come to her house. Because in a relationship there must be ethics and marriage is cancelled without parental consent. Is marriage just a game? At home, her mother gives Hae-In food and her father doesn't like it. He left because he couldn't stand being in the same room as that bastard. Seung-Hyo is seen pacing back and forth in front of Seok-Ryu's house. And Moim comes and wonders why Seung-Hyo didn't come in. Seung-Hyo says Seok-Ryu's ex-fiancé came and that makes Moim angry. Seung-Hyo asks Moim to calm down because he wants to kill Hae-In more. Then Mrs. Misak sits them both down. She will say what's on her mind. When her mother asks about the truth, whether Seok-Ryu is having an affair, strangely Hae-In is curious whether it's true. Then Hae-In says that he is the one responsible for the cancellation of their engagement. Mrs. Misak already suspected that her daughter could not possibly be having an affair. Then she took a piece of wood and intended to beat up Hae-In. How could he break her daughter's heart? But Seok-Ryu stopped her and asked Hae-In to leave because her mother could kill him. Seung-Hyo and Moim drinking in front of a convenience store. Moim asked Seung-Hyo to make a scene because previously he wanted to kill Hae-In. But Seung-Hyo felt he had no right because he was nobody to Seok-Ryu. According to Moim, he was the son of Seok-Ryu's mother's friend and had been friends since childhood. Friends are amazing things. One of the definitions is carrying their sadness. Moim felt frustrated, seeing Seung-Hyo wasting time. And Seung-Hyo realized whether Moim knew his feelings. And Moim said honestly that she had peeked at the time capsule. Moim felt that only Seung-Hyo suffered because he buried his feelings. And Seung-Hyo asked Moim not to tell Seok-Ryu. Of course, Moim would support him and invite Seung-Hyo to save himself from unrequited love. Seok-Ryu asked why Hae-In came there. He answered that he wanted to breathe, eat and sleep again. Without Seok-Ryu, he couldn't survive and he asked Seok-Ryu to come back because he still loved Seok-Ryu. But Seok-Ryu thought everything was over. His feelings weren't love, it was just bad habits that has to be overcome. Seok-Ryu ran away from home and was in Moim's room. Moim knew there was Hae-In at home because Seung-Hyo told her. It turned out that when Moim asked if Seok-Ryu still loved her, she answered half right and wrong. Seok-Ryu likes spending time together, but she knows that some relationships are better to end. She tries to forget it and now Seok-Ryu feels much calmer. Hearing that Moim feels relieved because her feelings for her ex have faded a little. At that time, Seung-Hyo and Seok-Ryu looked at each other's cell phones and it seemed like they were waiting for each other's call. In the morning Seok-Ryu's father and mother enjoyed breakfast together. But Seok-Ryu's mother felt that she shouldn't have hit Hae-In. She didn't mind if they reconciled because Seok-Ryu's life would return to normal and she would return to US with her. Of course, her father was angry and refused Seok-Ryu return to the US. He had heard Seok-Ryu and her father hated him. Suddenly her mother came into the room and asked Seok-Ryu to wear appropriate clothes. She felt that Seok-Ryu was always wandering around and wearing worn-out clothes and sandals. She also asked Seok-Ryu to wear makeup because she looked pale. Seok-Ryu felt strange with her mother's attitude. And when she left the house, Hae-In was already there waiting for her. It turns out that her mother has an ulterior motive by asking her to dress up. Seok-Ryu doesn't like seeing Hae-In, and at that time Seung-Hyo comes and asks Seok-Ryu to ride on his bike. He will take her to cooking class.
웬 자전거냐?
Seung-Hyo feels that Seok-Ryu's clothes and blushing cheeks are not suitable for taking cooking class. Seok-Ryu explains that her mother told her to. Hearing that, Seung-Hyo is disappointed and doesn't want to eat the side dishes anymore. Then Seung-Hyo says that Seok-Ryu looks ugly and Seok-Ryu pinches him because he always jokes. And when the bike wobbles, Seok-Ryu holds Seung-Hyo tightly. Then Seung-Hyo asks why Hae-In came. Don't tell him, he wants to go back with Seok-Ryu. Seung-Hyo thinks Seok-Ryu is happy to meet him again after so long. They're not only dating, but also engaged. Why is Seok-Ryu tempted? Does she have no self-respect? Then Seok-Ryu asked him to stop and suddenly Seung-Hyo stopped his bike. Tae-Hui met Seung-Hyo at his office. She felt that Seung-Hyo seemed to be thinking about something else. Tae-Hui also felt that there was no romance if it burned too quickly. In her 20s, she expected everything to burn quickly. But now, she wants to focus on something warm and smooth, slow and long. And that's thanks to Seung-Hyo, but she won't ask Seung-Hyo to take responsibility, so don't be afraid. So, let's follow her heart and Seung-Hyo follows his. Seok-Ryu will also follow her heart. Seung-Hyo was shocked because Tae-Hui suddenly brought up Seok-Ryu and went off topic. And Tae-Hui felt that his ex-boyfriend immediately changed like a teenager when Seok-Ryu's name was mentioned. When Moim came out of the store, she saw a car accident. When she asked someone to call emergency, she saw Dan-ho and his daughter. She broke the car window using a hammer and took the unconscious man out of the car. Then Moim gives CPR and Yeon-do sees it. And finally, the man can be saved thanks to Moim. Hae-In calls Seok-Ryu, but she ignores him. Then Hae-In pretends to be sick so that Seok-Ryu approaches him. He apologizes because Seok-Ryu doesn't want to visit. Hae-In feels that he has messed up, but Seok-Ryu doesn't want to deal with him anymore. Then Hae-In invites her to eat for the last time. Dan-ho and his daughter wait for Moim when come home from work. It turns out that Yeon-do attentively puts ointment on Moim's wound. Yeon-do feels that Moim is very cool today. Even though there is no web coming out of her hand, she is cooler than Spider-Man. Moim is very happy to hear that and they invite her to go home together. Because Yeon-do has a cold, so the car's air conditioner is not turned on. Then Dan-ho takes off his jacket because it is hot. Dan-ho is curious if Moim is never afraid on duty. Moim never feels afraid, she is only afraid if she can't save the victim. Dan-ho feels that Moim is very brave and he admires her. He realized that he didn't have to look far for heroes because they were near them. Then Moim remembered seeing a real hero. When the road was jammed, someone got out of his car and directed the traffic to make way. He was like a superhero and Moim felt like she had found her dream man. She called him a madman because at that time he was wearing a shirt that said, "I love you," mud. Hearing that, Dan-ho was shocked and broke suddenly. Then Moim saw that the shirt that Dan-ho was wearing was the same as the one worn by the mud man. Dan-ho explained that he was given the shirt by a community. And when she saw Dan-ho, Moim realized that the mud man was similar in height to Dan-ho. Moim and Dan-ho both acted awkward, and Dan-ho gave various ointments to treat Moim's wounds. Dan-ho asked Moim not to get hurt again. Moim was still in shock because she just found out that reporter was a mud man. And she felt her heart beating like a drum. Seung-Hyo felt worried because Seok-Ryu was walking at night. Because the world is scary, but Seok-Ryu doesn't care. Seok-Ryu walks alone, but it was like someone was following her and she ran. But the person who chased her turned out to be Seung-Hyo. Because Seok-Ryu suddenly ran, so Seung-Hyo just chased her. Seung-Hyo felt that it was their problem, because their hearts couldn't be expressed, so they went around and ended up fighting. Then Seung-Hyo was going to answer when that night Seok-Ryu asked what he meant. But Seok-Ryu didn't want to, because at that time her mind was filled with various thoughts. She couldn't think clearly, so later. Not because of Hae-In, but many other things. And Seung-Hyo wanted to postpone answering it until her mind was not filled with thoughts. But Seung-Hyo asked if she would continue to meet Hae-In. Seok-Ryu replied that there was no such plan. Then Seung-Hyo invited her to go home. Seung-Hyo will be behind Seok-Ryu, so there is no need to look back, and don't be afraid. Seung-Hyo's mother has a birthday today, but her husband is busy and immediately went to the hospital. Meanwhile, Seung-Hyo left for work early. Then she asked in her chat group if her friends had plans tonight.
오늘 저녁에 뭐해?
Seung-Hyo and Tae-hui ate together and they saw Seok-Ryu eating with Hae-In. Seung-Hyo looked disappointed to see them and invited Tae-hui to sit at the table that had been ordered. It turned out that they ordered a table near Seok-Ryu's table. Hae-In saw the food that Seok-Ryu brought. It was japchae, the food that Seok-Ryu cooked at the place where she took the cooking class. Then Hae-In asked permission to taste the food that Seok-Ryu cooked. And at that time Seung-Hyo looked annoyed and Tae-hui knew it. Seung-Hyo sliced the steak hard until it was making a sound. Then Tae-hui talks about their coworkers, who are curious about their relationship. Tae-hui explains that Seung-Hyo is her ex-boyfriend, but they still like each other. Seung-Hyo asks Tae-hui not to lie, because he hates liars the most in this world. Not keeping promises is also a lie. Secretly meeting someone who she said she wouldn't meet. Hearing that, Seok-Ryu chokes because she feels alluded to.
화장실 좀.
When Seok-Ryu comes out of the toilet, she meets Seung-Hyo. He is surprised because previously Seok-Ryu wouldn't meet him. But Seok-Ryu is also surprised because Seung-Hyo also met Tae-hui. Then Tae-hui comes and gives wine to Seok-Ryu. Seok-Ryu refuses it because she doesn't drink wine. Then Tae-hui asks her to give it to her boyfriend. But Seok-Ryu says he's not her boyfriend. And Tae-hui apologizes for thinking that he's Seok-Ryu's boyfriend.
사과는 받아줄게.
Hae-In takes Seok-Ryu home by car. He plans to treat Seok-Ryu again another time. But Seok-Ryu thought there was no next time, just this once. And Hae-In still tried to force her, but Seok-Ryu asked him to stop.
여기 좀 내려줄래?
Seung-Hyo's mother got a message in the chat group. It turned out that they asked her to put the crab in the refrigerator because they were busy. She was annoyed because her friends didn't remember her birthday. And when she put the package in, suddenly her friends gave her a surprise and brought a birthday cake. Seung-Hyo's mother was touched and cried, with the surprise party. She was also happy when Seung-Hyo sent a message containing birthday greetings. While her husband was busy looking for his wife's favorite flowers.
고맙다, 아들.
Seung-Hyo was at the swimming pool and his teacher came to congratulate him for winning the design contest. She asked Seung-Hyo to tell Seok-Ryu. Because she had asked the results of the contest several times, whether Seung-Hyo had won the competition. She would have been happy if she knew Seung-Hyo had won the design contest. Then when Seung-Hyo was alone, he remembered her friend's words to save himself alone and brave with his feelings. Then he called Seok-Ryu and asked where she was.
가게 내 연습 중이야.
And when Seung-Hyo's father brought flowers, he saw his wife with a man in front of his house. He felt disappointed seeing the two of them. Seung-Hyo thought there were many opportunities to express his feelings. That is when they graduated from high school and became adults. Then on the ice cream day, tasted sweet and cherry blossoms, bloomed in spring, when they were 20 years old. That night at the food stall, when she said she would go to the US.
대박이지 않냐?
Then tonight, Seung-Hyo will not delay it anymore. He lied to himself and it was because he was afraid. So, this time he will say it. When he said Seok-Ryu made him crazy, what he meant was that he liked her.
널 좋아해.